Բարև ձեզ սիրելի հեռուստադիտողներ, Ամերիկահայ ռեժիսոր եւ դերասան Michael Goorjiani Amerikatsi ֆիլմը հայտնվել է Օսկար մրցանակաբաշխության միջազգային գեղարվեստական 15 լավագույն ֆիլմերի կարճ ցուցակում։ Այսպիսով առաջին անգամ հայկական արտադրության ֆիլմն արժանանում է նման միջազգային ուշադրության։ Այժմ տեսակապով կզրուցեմ ամերիկահայ ռեժիսոր եւ ֆիլմի գլխավոր դերակատար Michael Goorjiani հետ։ Thanks for joining us, Michael, and my congratulations on the success of your movie. While acknowledging that the final second stage is yet to unfold, it's undeniably a remarkable milestone in the Armenian film production. Could you tell us about the journey that led this movie to attain such notable success and how it feels personally for you to see your movie being shortlisted for consideration at the Oscars?
It's been a long road. We shot the film in 2020, in the beginning of 2020, right when the pandemic started, and then finished right before the war in Artsakh began. And then it took a few years to do post-production, and then we premiered it at the Golden Apricot Film Festival in 2022. And after that, we spent about a year going to festivals all over the world and winning a lot of awards and accolades, which was wonderful. Eventually, that led us to getting distribution here in the United States with a company, Variance Pictures, which is a very new, strong theatrical company releasing films in theaters here in the US, which today is very difficult because of streaming and all of that. But with the success of our theatrical release, we're right now the top grossing foreign film in the US, which is quite a feat. After that, we were able to get more recognition in the industry. And when Armenia selected us to represent the country for the Oscars, we had a lot of support with Armenians from the diaspora and also from Hayastan to help campaign, which is really the thing that Armenia has never done before. Is when you have a film and you submit it to the Oscars, it's like running for office. You have to campaign and convince people and get people to see the film, because a lot of times they don't see it. And so that takes a lot of work. And the team of people we have working on it is incredible. Our PR firm and our distributor. We've assembled an incredible group of people. And now that we've been shortlisted, we're going to keep pushing and hopefully get nominated.
Could you provide insights into certain key aspects in Amerikatsi, and what is the main message of the movie?
Well, the message of the movie is really reflects kind of a lot of things. It's basically, the film takes place in Armenia after World War II, when Stalin had invited Armenians from the diaspora to repatriate. And it was a tough time for many Armenians. And there was a lot of conflicts between Armenians coming in and Armenians from the homeland. But despite that, people found a way to continue on. And the message of the film is really about bringing us together as Armenians, both from the diaspora and from the homeland, and working together. And for me, I wanted to make a film that was hopeful and didn't ignore the struggles that we've been through and we continue to go through even today. But despite that, we're a strong people and we have a great culture. And I want the rest of the world to know about that. And that's why I think it's so important for me. I don't care so much about awards, but the Oscars is such a big platform and a way for the rest of the world to know more about Armenia, who we are, what our culture is, and why, and to appreciate what we have to offer the rest of the world. So,
as I know, the plot of the movie is based on a true story, if I'm not mistaken. So how it's connected with you personally?
Well, it's based on quite a few true stories. It's inspired by my own grandfather, who was a genocide survivor. But I also interviewed many people who repatriated. But also, not just that, the film isn't just about the repatriate. It's also about a guard played by Hovik Kushkarian, who was in the show Money Heist. who plays a Hayastantsi who it's about the Armenians that were under the Soviet rule just as much as the Armenians coming from the diaspora and the relationship between them. So yeah, that's it's based. We took many stories, and when I came to Armenia to shoot the film, all of the crew that was based in Armenia, they helped inform a lot of the story, and a lot of the details in the film came from Armenians there in Hayastan.
I really don't want to spoil the plot of the movie for those who have yet to watch it. Anyway, in the movie, the main character, Charlie Bakhchinian, faces the absurd charge of wearing a tie in Soviet Armenia. How did you choose and explore such seemingly trivial incident for the starting point of the narrative?
I actually read about that in a book called The Repatriate, about an American who repatriated and talked about his own experiences, and that was one of them. That he was not arrested, but he talked about how it was dangerous because of this new edict passed called cosmopolitanism, that people could get arrested for emulating the West. So there's so many details in the film that come from actual stories.
As you mentioned, Amerikatsi is described as a story of hope and also of survival in different challenging conditions and times. So how did you approach balancing the dark themes and hopeful themes in the same story in your storytelling? Well,
that's difficult to do, but I think I would. So when I made the film and I shot it, even after I had finished, I wasn't sure if it would work. The tone of the film being both comical and dramatic, I wasn't sure. And I have to credit Andronik Berberian, who is our composer in Armenia, and the National Philharmonic, who did the score for us. The music really helped meld everything together and create a tone that works quite well. So it wasn't easy to do, but a lot of the contributions from the various artists who worked on the film helped kind of create what I feel people right now. I was at a screening here in Hollywood last night with hundreds of people, barely anybody Armenian, and they all love the movie because of the heart of what the film is. So I credit all of the artists, especially in Armenia, who helped contribute to the film.
So in your perspective, how do you believe Amerikatsi contributes to foster a global understanding of Armenian culture and history?
Well, here's the thing. I've found being an Armenian from America, and I didn't grow up very much connected to my Armenian roots. It was later in life that I got more interested and went to Armenia for the first time in 2006. And I realized how, for the rest of the country, or rest of the world, Armenia is a bit isolated. People don't know what Armenia is, where it is. And that, to me, is a shame because the culture is so rich and there's so much to offer. But exposure and helping the rest of the world see who we are beyond the things that most people know. People have heard about the genocide. There are famous Armenian celebrities people know about, but Armenia itself and its culture, it needs a voice in the world. And film is a great way to do that, especially when it's film that is open for other people to understand and get involved. And that was the point of Amerikatsi, was to make a universal story, one that wasn't just for Armenians, but for non-Armenians as well. And I think that resonates, that helps Armenia, our culture, but also the country in a tremendous way, because it's attention for the country that's positive. It's not about conflict. It's just sharing the joy and music and all of the aspects of Armenia through a story is a great way to help the country and help it, the rest of the world, be able to see us better. So that's what we tried to do with the film.
And I was wondering, what challenges and difficulties did you encounter during the making of your movie, and how did you overcome them to bring your vision to the screen?
Well, I think people tend to be a bit jaded sometimes about film or cynical because it's very difficult to do. And many people try and it can cost money and turn out to be a disaster. And so getting people to have faith that what I was trying to do would be good and would be a good film was difficult at first. And convincing people to help finance it, help get involved in it. At first, it's always difficult because people can be skeptical. Oh, is this real? Is it going to be good? But now the more that we have gotten accolades and we've gotten the attention of Hollywood and the rest of the world, I think it snowballs, as we say. It's a phrase in America. It starts small, but builds bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think, so that was probably the biggest challenge for me, is getting people to understand what we're trying to do and understand that we're doing it from a positive place, a place of really, this is trying to help all of us as Armenians in the world and also the country. So.
And you involved in the movie both talent from Armenia and diaspora. How did you choose to involve these actors, and how did you see the significance to choose to shoot the movie in Armenia? Well,
I came to Armenia, as I said, the first time in 2006. And for me, it was such an incredible experience. And I thought if I was going to make a film related to my heritage, I'd rather make it in Armenia than just about Armenia. And when I wrote the script, I came back in 2018 to scout and look at locations and also to meet actors. I spent a few days just meeting actors and talking to people. And I was honestly blown away by how talented, there's so many talented artists there in Armenia. So when we got to casting it, I think 80% of the cast and crew is all based in Armenia. And we brought only a few people over from the US. And then, like I said, Hovik Kushkarian, who came from Spain. He's an Armenian from Spain. We had Nelly Uvarova, who came from Russia. And to me, it was trying to find the right balance where there were some people coming in from the outside who brought ideas and information and technology that maybe Armenia doesn't have yet, and mixing that with the talent there in Armenia to help. I mean, ultimately, we wanted to try to help build the film industry there as well, which was part of the goal of the film.
So my last question, with the Oscar nominations set to be announced on the 23rd of January, how are you preparing for the significant event and what are your expectations?
Well, like I said, it's a campaign. It's like running for office or as a politician. So between now and the vote, we are doing everything possible here in the US. I'm going to be doing screenings all over Hollywood, in New York, San Francisco. There are screenings being held in Europe. We're also campaigning, or we're raising funds as well to help pay for the campaign. But to me, it's all worth it because of the exposure that we get from it. So it's going to be a busy few weeks for me. Hopefully I can stay healthy.
Thanks for the interview, Michael, and we are looking forward to witnessing the ongoing achievements of Amerikatsi.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Հարգելի հեռուստադիտողներ, հիշեցնեմ, որ տեսակապով զրուցում էի ամերիկահայ ռեժիսոր եւ ամերիկացի ֆիլմի գլխավոր դերակատար Michael Goorjiani հետ։ Կհանդիպենք։